Ryan and Claire Donovan looked like the perfect couple from the outside, but behind their manicured lawn and polite smiles, a secret was waiting to explode. When Claire discovered that her husband's late-night gym sessions were actually secret dates with their neighbor, her heartbreak twisted into obsession. What began as quiet suspicion turned into a deadly game of deceit, ending with two bodies pulled from a frozen lake, and a wife who claimed she only wanted the truth. Claire Donovan had always believed her marriage to Ryan was solid, the kind of love people envied. He was attentive, ambitious, and always made sure their neighbors saw them as the picture-perfect couple. Their life in Ridgefield looked flawless. Quiet mornings with coffee, weekend barbecues, and smiles exchanged over neatly trimmed hedges. Ryan's passion for fitness was one of the things she admired most. He claimed that late-night gym sessions helped him clear his mind after long hours at work. Claire never questioned it. She trusted him completely, or at least she used to. But lately something subtle had changed. Ryan started coming home later and later, sometimes after midnight, claiming the gym was busier than usual. He'd arrive freshly showered, but his clothes didn't smell like the gym. They carried a faint trace of floral perfume, the kind that lingered even after he hugged her goodnight. His energy was different, too. He was distracted, detached, scrolling through his phone with a small smirk she hadn't seen in years. One evening, while cleaning the laundry basket, she noticed a lipstick stain on one of his towels, soft pink, a color she never wore. Her stomach dropped, but she convinced herself it must have transferred accidentally somewhere else. That illusion shattered when she checked the credit card statement one morning and saw no recent gym charges. Curious, she called the gym herself, pretending to be Ryan's assistant. The manager informed her that Ryan's membership had been canceled 3 months ago. Her hands froze on the phone. For a long time, she sat in silence, the hum of the refrigerator filling the room. That night, when Ryan left for his supposed workout, Claire's trust left with him, replaced by a growing dread she couldn't ignore. ChatGPT said, Claire spent the next few nights in quiet observation, her suspicions growing heavier with each passing day. She watched from the kitchen window as Ryan tied his shoelaces, filled a water bottle, and grabbed his car keys. Everything looked normal, but her instincts screamed otherwise. The way he checked his reflection before leaving, the quick spray of cologne he never wore to the gym, the confident stride, none of it matched the man she once knew. That Thursday night, her curiosity overpowered her fear. She decided to follow him. She waited a few minutes after he left, then slipped into her car, headlights dimmed, heart pounding so loudly it echoed in her ears. Ryan's car rolled down the quiet streets of Ridgefield, passing the fitness center exit entirely. Instead, he turned right into their own neighborhood and stopped just a few blocks away. Claire parked a distance behind, watching as he stepped out and walked straight toward the house of Melissa Grant, their friendly neighbor who always had a smile and a fresh batch of cookies. The sight made Claire's chest tighten. Melissa, in her mid-30s and recently divorced, often chatted with Ryan during morning jogs, something Claire had brushed off as harmless small talk. She watched as the porch light flickered off and Ryan disappeared through the door. Minutes stretched into hours. The neighborhood was silent except for the soft chirping of crickets. When Ryan finally reappeared past midnight, his hair was messy, his shirt untucked, and he carried no gym bag. Claire gripped the steering wheel, trembling as the truth settled like ice in her veins. The late-night gym sessions were nothing but a cover, and the man she thought she knew had been sleeping with the woman next door. The days that followed were a blur of anger, disbelief, and quiet calculation. Claire couldn't confront Ryan, not yet. She wanted him to feel safe in his lies, while she gathered every piece of truth he had buried. She started taking photos discreetly. His car parked in front of Melissa's house. receipts from the same diner both had visited, and a bracelet on Melissa's wrist identical to the one she'd once gifted her husband. Every discovery deepened the crack inside her, transforming heartbreak into something colder, something dangerous. At night she lay awake staring at the ceiling, imagining his voice whispering to someone else, the same words he'd once used for her. The betrayal replayed endlessly in her mind. Confrontation felt too small, too merciful. She wanted them both to face the kind of pain that couldn't be undone. One evening, while scrolling through an online forum about betrayal, Claire stumbled upon an idea, a way to turn their secret into a trap. She bought a cheap prepaid phone and sent Ryan a message pretending to be Melissa. The text was simple but effective. "Meet me at the old cabin by the lake tomorrow night. I need to see you alone." When his reply came, "I'll be there. I've missed you." Her hands shook, but not from sadness. The plan was set. She packed the trunk of her car with a few things: gloves, duct tape, a flashlight, and an old roll of twine from the garage. As she stared at herself in the mirror before bed, she barely recognized the woman looking back. Her eyes were hollow, calm, and focused. The loving wife of Ryan Donovan was gone. In her place stood someone new, shaped by betrayal, and ready to end the lies once and for all. ChatGPT said the following morning, the small town of Ridgefield woke to breaking news. Police had discovered Ryan Donovan's abandoned car near a remote cabin by the lake. The driver's door was wide open, keys dangling from the ignition, as if someone had left in a hurry. Inside the cabin, investigators found signs of a violent struggle: a broken glass, a toppled chair, a smear of blood on the floorboards, and Ryan's jacket torn at the collar. But there was no body. The area was cordoned off as detectives combed the surrounding woods, searching for any clue to where he might have gone. When officers arrived at Claire's doorstep later that day, she played her part perfectly. Her expression was pale and confused, her voice trembling as she insisted that Ryan had gone to the gym the previous night, just like always. She asked questions, feigned panic, and even cried as they took her statement. Behind the tears, however, her mind was calculating, steady, cold. Days turned into weeks, and the case only grew stranger. Police soon found Melissa Grant's car abandoned on a dirt road 10 miles from the cabin. Inside were her purse, a pair of sunglasses, and her phone with unread messages. Neighbors began whispering theories. Some believed the two had run off together, others thought Ryan had hurt Melissa and fled. But what haunted detectives was the strange consistency of the evidence. It all felt too neat, too staged. Claire watched every news update with a detached calm. She had expected guilt or fear, but all she felt was relief. As the search expanded, the woman once known for her kindness simply sat by her window each night, sipping tea, staring into the dark, and waiting for the story to end. 3 weeks after the disappearance, the lake began to thaw under the early spring sun. A fisherman noticed something glinting beneath the surface near the old dock, a silver car roof barely visible through the rippling water. Authorities were called immediately, and when divers pulled the vehicle from the lake, the entire town gathered behind yellow tape to watch. Inside the car were 2 bodies side by side. Ryan Donovan sat in the driver's seat, his hand resting limply near the gearshift, while Melissa Grant's head tilted against the window. Both were already decomposed beyond recognition, but personal items left no doubt about their identities. At first glance, it appeared to be a lover's suicide. The windows were rolled up, and investigators found traces of carbon monoxide inside the vehicle. A love affair gone wrong, people whispered, 2 guilty hearts seeking escape. But one detective noticed something that didn't fit. The exhaust pipe had been carefully sealed with duct tape, and the tape edges were covered in dirt, as if someone had knelt there to finish the job. It wasn't suicide. It was murder. Forensics later revealed fingerprints on the tape and traces of fiber matching a blanket from the Donovans' home. When questioned again, Claire's calm mask began to crack. She denied everything at first, but under pressure her voice trembled, then broke. She confessed that she'd lured Ryan to the cabin using the fake message and confronted them both. What began as an act of revenge spiraled out of control. She claimed she just wanted to scare them. In the end, the woman who had once built her life around love destroyed it entirely. Behind her tearful confession, the quiet suburb of Ridgefield finally learned how far heartbreak could truly go.